As we all navigate this crazy worldwide pandemic and the effects that it come with that financially, emotionally, and everything else, I'm not here to say that I have all the answers, but I'm hoping that I have a few things that I can share with you. I've been in business for 15 years, so I went through the '08 recession. And at that time, I also lost my brother, got divorced, lost my house, almost lost my business. And it's not the same as what's going on now. And no one's been through this before, this unique set of circumstances. But I did learn a lot in that process that some of it I hope might be at least somewhat helpful as we all go through this new and unique time together. So I'm going to share 5 tips with you that I found helpful the last time I went through an economic downturn and an emotional downturn with the hopes that they can help you. So let's start with number 1, which is feel your feelings. Take time to feel whatever you're feeling and know that whatever you're feeling is totally valid. There can be some misguided help that comes in the form of like, count your blessings or enjoy this time. And if that's not how you're feeling, that's not helpful. And just know, if you need permission, that it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling right now. And to also know that this event is traumatic for everyone, not just you. And that for people who may have had prior trauma, it can actually trigger or reignite some of those old traumas. So you may feel like, why am I handling this so much worse? Or why is all this coming up for me and other people seem fine? Stop comparing and just know that it's normal. That's normal that you may have old trauma that gets triggered by this. You may feel all kinds of feelings right now. And that doesn't make them wrong. It doesn't make you wrong and the other people right. It makes you normal and it's okay. So give yourself the space to feel what you feel for as long as it takes. If you notice, though, that seems to be you slipping into a depression, losing the will to get up and those sorts of things, then seek out help. Therapists are offering teletherapy right now, and you can still get mental help, and it's as important now or more important now than ever. And if you're feeling like this is hard, as it is, and you need some time to just be in it, silence those voices that are telling you to get over it or telling you to hustle harder, and just focus on you. If that means silencing social media or the news media for a while, go for it. If, on the other hand, hearing the news makes you actually feel better because, like me, you have anxiety, and hearing the actual facts helps you keep from spinning out into some thoughts that are not factual, then that's okay. Do what's right for you. And remember now, too, that self-care is more important than ever. As we're kind of cooped up and not able to get out or have as much alone time, we need to force that self-care time for ourselves. So find ways, get creative, create schedules, talk to your partner if you have one about finding time for you so that you can get the self-care that you need. And that brings me to number 2, which is related, and that's ask for help. Asking for help in ordinary times can be very hard, especially for women and especially for moms who very often get cast in the role of caregiver. We take care of others first and put ourselves last. But in these times, more than ever, we need to be caring for ourselves. This is an oxygen mask situation, people. This is a time that we need to be putting on our own oxygen mask so that we can save those around us. So remember that it's not selfish, it's self-care, and we need it now more than ever. So ask for it. And if you need help figuring out how to ask for what you want and need, I have a free email series at beckymollenkamp.com/gutsyask. The link is also here. And you can turn to that for help. It's free, so I'm not asking people to pay me money right now because I know that this is a hard time. And while we're stuck in our houses, we need to also remember the value of community, which can be hard because we feel alone. But we are, as humans, we are tribal people who need community. So seek it out now more than ever. That mastermind you've been thinking about starting, start it now. You'll be surprised at how many people might be saying, oh my gosh, I need that now. And now is a time to start having lots of virtual coffee chats. Focus on networking. Build your network now so that at the end of this, and this will end, you will be in a stronger position. And if you need resources for masterminding or virtual coffee chats, I'm also providing those for you. All right, number 3, act like a CEO. Now, I told you at the start of this that I've had my business for 15 years. But I treated it like a hobby for way too long, and that proved to be detrimental the last time we went through an economic downturn. And after that, I realized I needed to step it up and be a CEO. And I can tell you now, as we weather this storm, I am so grateful I did because it has made such a difference. So at a minimum, you need to have an LLC, which in some states you can do yourself. Others you might need an attorney, but attorneys are working remotely as well, and I'm sure would be more than happy for the work. And get an EIN, which you do through the IRS website, and it's free and takes only minutes. You need those things so that you can open up business bank accounts if you don't already have them. Also, having an EIN means you don't have to use your social security number for invoicing and things, which protects you more from cyber hacks, cyber thieves. But the other reason that's so important is we need to separate our business from our personal finances to protect ourselves from legal liability. You need to have a very clean line between your business and your personal if you want to avoid having your personal finances hurt in case of a lawsuit. So especially in a downtime when if you end up having to take out a loan or default on something, default on some sort of business loan, default on some sort of contract, if you don't have your things separated, they can come after your personal finances, which can put you even farther in a hole. So you want to get those things separated. It's really important. Also, having those business bank accounts allows you to implement profit first, which I'm including a link for that as well. It's an amazing book. The gist of it is you have separate accounts for your profit, for your operating expenses, for your taxes, and for your owner's paycheck, your draw. Having done this is what has allowed me to have an ongoing consistent paycheck, because those times when I make more money, I'm still paying myself the same amount of money, and in the low times, the high times help offset that. And it means that I have money set aside for taxes. Now that there's some tax relief, some of that money could be spent to pay myself for longer, or I could get my taxes paid and not have to worry about that. I also have money in a profit account, which now acts as a rainy day fund, not a personal rainy day fund, but a business rainy day fund to keep my business afloat for longer if things stay in a bad position. So I can't recommend doing this enough. It's a little bit of a pain to get set up, but boy, it makes all the difference in how you think and feel about your business. And a couple of other things I want to say here is there's lots of people out there offering all kinds of advice, strategic kind of advice about how to, reposition your business or to address what's going on business-wise. So I won't add a lot to that because I think there are other people who probably know more and better. But I do want to say that one thing I think is important that has helped me in the past that I didn't do last time, but now am, is that I have diversity in my client base. So I'm screw niching. I know it's what everybody talks about, but if you have only one kind of client, if that kind of client is hurt, you're in trouble. So I have multiple types of clients across multiple types of industries, and that helps protect me some if things get bad. Also, I have multiple income streams. I have one-on-one coaching, and then I also have 2 types of programs within my one-on-one coaching, which includes a lower cost option that now more people are able to use, which is accountability coaching. If you're interested, $100 a month, you get a call with me, and I help keep you on track. And we also talk through mindset issues that come up with your goals. And then I have courses, and I have digital downloads, and I have affiliate income and ads income from my blog. I have a lot of different types of income streams. I didn't have that in the past. I had all my eggs in one basket. So I was hurt so much more in the last recession than I will be this time because I have diversified my client base and have multiple streams of income. Now, obviously, we're in this now, and it might be a little late to do those things, but you can start thinking about it so that you might be able to make some adjustments now. Think about where you could meet your clients now. How can you meet them where they are, which means how can you get online? How can you address the things they need during this time versus maybe what you've always done? And you can start thinking about who else could use what you do that might be outside of your normal niche. Start thinking about ways to diversify. This is the time to do it and prepare yourself because guess what? It's going to happen again. Let's all hope it's not this that happens again, but the economy will go up and down. So preparing yourself now and setting yourself up while you have some time, unfortunately, to do it may help you in the future. And the last thing about being a CEO is to track your data. I never used to do this. I would just look at the bank account and base how I felt about my business on that one number. But that doesn't tell the whole story. So tracking more metrics in your business is so valuable because it's really easy to go from, I don't have a lot of money to I'm a total loser and I should quit. But when you have more data, you can make more informed decisions. Now I can look at maybe my revenue is down, and it is, but maybe my profit is up, and it is because I am cutting costs where I can. So I'm keeping more of my money. Knowing that helps me stay more motivated and more encouraged as I move forward. So think about what data you're tracking and start looking at more numbers. Also, I should note that this is a good time. It feels like an inopportune time to have all this extra time. None of us are really asking for a bunch of extra time probably, and it can feel a little scary, but it is a good time to use that availability of hours now that you have that you didn't before to think big picture about your business. And I have another resource. It's only $10. I most of what I offer is free, but this is only 10. It's a 20+ page workbook that allows you to sit down and have a CEO day where you can do the big picture dreaming and planning for your business and your life. I'll include that information, but you can also find resources online. The whole point is to take some time and do some big picture thinking while you have the time, because soon you won't, and you'll be disappointed you didn't use it to do that. Okay, number 4 is to keep planting seeds. I'm going to first say the caveat of do what's right for you. If hustling, working, whatever right now doesn't work for you, then don't. You can skip this part. But for those of you like me who, maybe because of anxiety, feel a need to be productive as a bit of a distraction and or because it just makes you feel better, then use that to your advantage and spend this time planting seeds, doing marketing, thinking about how you can show up and help people and get your name out there. This is a great time for visibility efforts, for name recognition efforts, for catching up with old clients you haven't talked to, for keeping in touch with people, for getting more people on your email list and just keeping in touch with them, not even about selling to them, providing information and education. Think about what are people and your people specifically looking for right now, and how can you show up and be that leader? I can tell you people are looking for leadership right now because everyone is scared. So if you can be the one to step up and be that leader in your industry, that will pay off later. People will remember that when they're back to normal and are able to spend money. And also, use this time to create all that content that you've been sitting on and meaning to create. Finally, write your book. Start that YouTube channel. Get your podcast going. Write 1 million blogs. Go back in and update all of your courses and improve on them. Record new video. Do all those things you've been meaning to do and always say you don't have enough time to do. When you're feeling ready to be productive, this is a great time to do those things because later you won't have the time and you'll kick yourself for not having done it. I know because that's what I've done in the past. And number 5 is don't make any big decisions yet. Don't make big decisions, on your best days or your worst days, because when you do, you are making decisions based on feelings, not facts. And emotional-based decisions are decisions we tend to regret later. When we take a beat, allow ourselves to feel our feelings, revisit something from a place that's a little less emotional and a lot more factual. Usually the decisions we make coming out of that are decisions we feel better about in the long run. So before you give up on your business or completely tweak and reposition your business, make sure that you take some time to think about it and make sure you're coming at a place that you've really analyzed facts before doing it. But I also want to say that if you have to get a bridge job or go get a 9-to-5, if you can find one right now, there's also no shame in that. That helped me the last time I went through a recession. I had to go and get a job for 18 months. That allowed me the space financially and emotionally to continue to rebuild my business, but also not lose my livelihood. At the time, I was single and had no other source of income to help pay rent and food, and I needed to do those things. So I did what I needed to do, and I rebuilt my business, and as soon as I could, I left the 9-to-5 and had my business. It's okay to do that if that's what you need to do. Don't let some of the online folks who might shame you, don't let that affect you. Do what's right for you and for your family. I hope these 5 tips were helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and let me know. I'm here for you during this time. I know it's hard. We're all trying to get through it. I'm watching my bank account go smaller and smaller every week too. I just know that we will all get through this together if we can stay in it together. And thank you so much for being part of my world.